Hey, hi, this is Sandeep, and this is tutorial, and this is a page that I've designed. In this tutorial, basically, I'll explain you the same thing that I've explained in the previous tutorial, but this time I'm gonna pass the parameter in a different way. Okay, earlier, if you remember, we passed the parameters to a region, right? So in this tutorial, we're gonna do it differently. So right now, I have again a page over here. This is a region page demo, and this says this is a region demo page, and we are going to enter we are going to ask the user to input a value over here, and we are going to store it under this bean. So I am using here a bean, which is a page which is whose scope is of page flow scope. So this is a bean for region, and this is the variable under which the value entered by the user is going to be stored. If you go over here, I have the bean over here. This is the property, this is the variable under which the user whatever enters is going to be stored. Then I have got this button initiate region TF, and then here is the region. So region basically is the same task flow. I have dragged it over here and dropped it as region like this. Okay, so I'm gonna not do it again. So this is what I have done. So here you are seeing this region, and the region this task flow is the same task flow that I have used in the earlier tutorial. Here is our task flow, and if you remember, there was this parameter over here. If you click here somewhere and go to the property inspector, you remember this input parameter 2. Okay, and this was the variable that was being used, customer in TF, whose scope is page flow scope. So this variable was being used in all of the pages under this task flow, and its value was coming from this input parameter 2. So you just have to remember that input parameter 2 is the bridge kind of a thing from where its value is coming, right? So if you come over here, okay, I was explaining you, this is the customer. It is going to be stored in cust name property of the bean, and then here's this initiate region. Okay, so once you click on this initiate region, okay, so there is this action I have defined over here, this method of this bean gets called. So let's see what is under that method. This is the method that gets called, and under this bean, let me tell you that there is a map that I'm maintaining, map, and these are the generics that I've supplied, a string object and param map. Okay, it is null right now, but when you click this button, this method gets called. What it does, it instantiates that map, and then it says param dot put input parameter 2. Now you remember this input parameter 2 was the same parameter that was used under this task flow. Okay, so right now what we are doing, all we are doing is that we are putting this cust name, what is being entered by the username, under a map. Okay, and while putting that customer name under the map, we are relating it with a key, and the key is of string type, and its value is input parameter 2. Okay, so that's all you need to remember, that we have associated this customer name with this string, okay, under this map. So now that you have stored this customer name with this key input parameter 2, and you are maintaining this map, right? So this is all this button is doing, and then you have this region. So you go to the bindings, task flow, select over here, and region is if needed, and then this is conditional activation, and I've selected page flow scope, and this param map, what is that map over here defined. When it becomes not null, then you have to activate this region. Okay, so that is all the setting that I have defined over here. Now what will happen is that as you press this, that map gets initialized, and the value which is being entered over here gets stored in that map with the string input parameter 2. That's all is happening. Now you need to supply that value in this. Previously we were supplying, you remember, right, the way, but right now we will supply the value with the help of map. So to do that, go to the binding task flow. I've already done the work, so I'm going to show you how it is done. So here is this, you can click on edit, or you can go over here, whatever you want in the property inspector. This time I'll click on edit. So as you see over here, this is the input parameter 2, and this will demand you a value. So in spite of giving this value over here, you can just supply that parameter map. You can supply that map, sorry. So you will just say page flow scope dot bean name, and then that map name. Okay, so by doing this, I'm supplying this map, the whole map, into this bounded task flow in this parameter, in this input parameter 2. sorry, in this not particularly in this parameter, I'm supplying this whole map into this bounded task flow. Now probably what can be the case, there can be the case that there are various values, right? Input parameter 2, input parameter 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 50, let's say, right? So in that case you would not want to supply the values from the parent page individually, right? Probably you can have 10 fields on this, let's say this is a parent page, you can have 10 fields over here and you want to supply all those 10 fields into this region, right? So in that case you will go to the bindings, you will click edit, and corresponding to all the input parameter 2, 3, 4, you will just keep on writing here. In spite of doing that, what you can do, you can have 10 or 50, whatever the number you want, you can have those many input fields over here. You can store them, okay? You can, and you can make the user enter all those values. After that you can maintain a map as I have maintained over here, okay? And then you can store all the values with the strings, with the keys as a strings, and those strings should be corresponding to input parameter 2, input parameter 3 and 4, like that. Whatever is design, whatever is there inside the property inspector of this task flow, right here. So here you have got input parameter 2. So maybe if there may be more number of, if this task flow had been having more number of parameters, it could have been input parameter 3, 4, 5, 6. So you would have to supply all those parameters from here, from the parent page. So in that case, whatever you need to do, you can maintain a map, supply all the values to the map, and you can store the map in such a way that all the values entered should correspond to the strings, like input parameter 2, 3, 4. So such a map has been maintained by me right here. So right now I'm having only one field in that is customer name, whatever user is inputting, and that I'm storing under this map with the key input parameter 2. So once I write it over here, this whole map is going to be supplied into this bounded task flow, which is this customer shopping task flow. And once it gets this map, it will fetch the value, see it, which automatically corresponding to input parameter 2. It will search this map for this key and it will get its value, okay? And then it would supply that value under the task flow. Similarly, if there had been more input parameter 3, 4, then it would have got the values for those keys from this map, and then it would have supplied those values under this task flow. So that is how I am doing it right here. I hope it is clear for you to understand. I'll just run this to show you how it looks like. So our application is up. Just try to enter something over here. Initiate region. It says hello Sandeep. Go to goodbye. Go to task flow return. So it is working as expected. The only difference is that right now we have tried to supply the value into the region with the help of a map. Okay, I'll see you in the next tutorial.